Could you turn off the transcript while you're over there? I think we just need the chat, but not, or is that all that is? It just seems like all. That's options. Now. It's just. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Don't leave. No, you want to show it in case we get any comments. You want to keep it up.
Oh, I didn't hit anything, so it just went away on its own.
Oh, really? If we didn't turn on chat. Okay. Anyway.
Did you go?
Go.
All right. Well, welcome everybody to the March 16th Parks and Recreation Commission. I'll issue this as our official call to order. And we'll go right to roll call. So Chair Parsons, I am here. Co-chair Commissioner Kerr is not here. Commissioner Frazier. And Commissioner Diab. Not here. Commissioner Lamberson.
Here.
And Commissioner Christensen. And Commissioner Stackhouse. Here. Have quorum, thank you. And Councilmember Anthony Garcia, we see you are online.
I'm here. It's great to see you guys.
See you, thank you. Very good. So we have quorum. We can move forward with the land acknowledgement. The Flagstaff Parks and Recreation Commission humbly acknowledges the ancestral homelands of this area's indigenous nations and original stewards. These lands, still inhabited by native descendants, border mountains sacred to indigenous peoples. We honor them, their legacies, their traditions, and their continued contributions. We celebrate their past, present, and future generations who will forever know this place as home. So I know maybe not all of us commissioners here today were at the last meeting, but for those of us who are, we can go ahead and review those minutes. And if there's any motions to approve those minutes, we can take those now.
To approve.
Move to approve by Commissioner Lamberson. Second. Okay, we have a second by Commissioner Frazier. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, say nay. All those minutes approved. All right, open call to the public. This portion of the meeting is for items that are not on the agenda. The commission cannot act on items presented during the public participation of the agenda. The commission is prohibited by the open meeting law from discussing or considering the item until the item is officially placed on an agenda. If there are any public comments at this time, those comments should be limited to 5 minutes. And I don't see anybody online, so anybody out there want to weigh in? If not, doesn't look like it. So there are no open items or from the public at this time. Great. Discussion items. We have 3 of them today. So the first one is an update on parks maintenance.
So with me out today and you all having a pretty big meeting last week, we wanted to just make sure you have an opportunity to get updated on what's going on with the 3 letters of the acronym. Starting with parks, Gino is out today, but he gave me some talking points, so I can go over those. What I'll be sharing on the screen is some projects that Parks has been able to complete over this abnormally warm winter. They were able to get a lot of projects done done, which was great. Good opportunity for them. Although I do think they kind of missed the snow operations, at least a little bit. So first few pictures are going to be over at Continental Sports Complex. This picture is of some new dugout roofs that they were able to install. The old ones were kind of falling in and they weren't great protection for those that were in the dugout. So the parks team made these all by hand. These are all welded steel beams, so they're extremely sturdy. And then with like a recycled recycled plastic, kind of like a Trex product over the slats. So really great looking project. They took a lot of pride in this work. And it looks great. They also did a lot of touch-up paint around the dugouts and the concession building. And the crowning jewel of these projects is they built a brand new staircase to get up to the upper level of the concession building, also known as the announcer's booth. They did this by hand themselves, and it would have cost us a couple thousand or more to hire in a contractor to do that. So that's the level of skilled worker that we have on our team. They also repainted this whole building and it looks incredible.
It's a lot better.
Yeah. Another project that they just completed recently was, this doesn't look super exciting, but it's exciting to us. It's a parking lot. But instead of being dirt, it's now covered with asphalt fillings. So we were having a lot of problems with dust and frankly, some kids getting in there after hours and doing donuts and just wreaking havoc for the neighborhood surrounding this area. This is one of the Little League field areas. So it's north of Thorpe Park off of Aztec. So if you're going north on Aztec, it's there on the east side. So this was a great project we were able to do with our deferred maintenance funding. And I think it's going to be a lot better for us to keep clear and keep the mud down and just a better experience for everybody, including the user groups that use this area.
Were the asphalt fillings available or did you have to purchase those or?
I think they were available. I think we partnered with some other roadway projects, I think. That we hired a contractor to come out and move them and lay them down. And then there was one more project that I neglected to grab a picture of. I'm gonna go get it now. This one is quite exciting as well. I know you're waiting with bated breath. You're able to put in some new scoreboards. And these new scoreboards have the new Flagstaff Little League logo and it has the pros logos. So these are brand new, kind of state of the art. Has all the information that was requested by our Little Leagues and has their logo. So they're updated. So that was a pretty exciting project to do. I think we put in 4.
Yeah, that one looks like
of
Continental.
these. Yeah, this one's at Continental. We put in others in other places as well.
Was that a one bid thing to replace all of them? Or?
You know, Gino would know those we ordered them all at the same time.
Okay.
And I think they just put
They
them.
all look the same.
Oh, you already graffitied that one.
What'd you say?
Oh, those are probably the old posts.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they reuse the existing posts.
Oh, okay.
Take them long.
It doesn't take long for that kind of thing to happen, unfortunately. So let me just check Gino's notes and make sure. Also, Gino has presented to you in the past that, we're starting to replace our parks rules signs. And he shared what that looked like with you. So those are starting to go in. And, we started putting those up over the weekend. So Bushmaster, I think, has one, maybe more. And then the rest of the work that they're doing is just working really hard to get the fields ready for turning over to our user groups, mainly the Little League on April 1st for the ball fields. And reminder that once we try to get everything as perfect as we can in terms of like laser leveling the infield and getting, all of the edges neat and clean. And then we turn it over to the Little Leagues for maintenance of that infield. Throughout the rest of the season, we continue to do the mowing and the irrigation and everything. And those are the parks updates.
They do the same thing, or kind of a regeneration of some of the lawn areas in the parks as well, like not the play fields, but just the grass area.
Yeah, they'll work on that. Also, the big push right now though is the athletic fields.
Fully staffed out, with,
They are completely staffed out right now. With the exception of seasonal workers, but all of the full-time positions are full.
It's nice. I live shoulder to Aztec. Extremely skinny road anyways, and then there's always cars parked there.
Yep.
It's nice.
The streets actually did that work and it just coincided nicely with the improvements we were making in the park. So, yeah.
any update? I know they voted, I think I was out in that council meeting for the renaming of Cheshire Park. I can't remember the gentleman's name that we're renaming that for. Ingalls, yeah. And I was wondering if they're working on the new sign.
Not taking that to council yet. I think we're still working with the family. Right? Have we brought that to the commission?
Yeah.
And you recommend, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm okay.
I think that was December.
Yes, so I think we're still working with the family and then we'll get that on a council agenda. I think they were still trying to decide what exactly to request the name to be.
Yeah, because of the potential expansion there, they were trying to decide.
Yeah, they were thinking maybe just.
Is it gonna be the multi-purpose field?
Exactly.
And then I think some of the concerns that came up here is if it continues to be a little bit delayed, ensuring that we're not gonna get new signage that's gonna be made as soon as that potential expansion happens.
So we'll follow up on that. Lori, if you could maybe even just put a note in the minutes to follow up with Amy on where we are on that.
In regards to the park maintenance updates?
This is just a point of curiosity. We had a relatively small snow year with the budgeting that you guys do. What happens to the money that you were maybe gonna spend on snow? Where does it?
Yeah, if we don't use it, it just goes back into the general fund at the end of the year. Our projects that we have scheduled, if we don't get those complete, carry those funds forward, but they have to be project specific. But Yeah, it's honestly just helping the general fund because we didn't have a lot of, we are using some of that over time on these other projects, so. But it's not nearly as much as the cost of a large snow here.
There are costs associated with pricing them that I wouldn't know about or think.
Oh, there are, yeah, I mean, we're talking, so water is gonna be a big one. We were talking about, before that last little storm we had at the end of February, we were thinking we might have to turn on irrigation at that time.
Yeah.
So thankfully that got us a little bit more, but the growing season anymore is March to November instead of April or May to October. So there are costs to that. And it's important to us that we conserve water as much as we can, at the same time maintaining the asset and the investment. So they walk that fine line every year.
With that, is there enough reclaimed water to continue to water the parks for that duration of time?
There is based on the existing customers and what we've all agreed with water services to use. Where we get into trouble is if there's a big new customer that wants to come in and use that same resource, it's pretty much all allocated. And then, at least that's my understanding. I'm not water services, obviously, but I have talked with their director. And then where we do get impacted sometimes is if they have a bug or a stomach upset at the plant, meaning the bugs that get out of balance that help make the reclaim water. And we've dealt with that, I think, once a year for the past couple of years. Then they will ask us to stop watering for a few days while they can reset and get everything back to where it needs to be, and then we can restart. Sometimes that tends to happen like in the hottest months of June or July, and that can be touch and go.
But. Interesting. Great. I like the detail for the dugouts there.
Yeah.
Should have that as a standard city detail from now on.
Those buildings are always brown. Is there a reason they're brown?
Sure. They are just always brown.
Change it from brown.
Has to do with recycled paint because
I'm assuming.
Some of it, but we also need to get enough of it when we're painting something like that whole building. You have to be able to get enough of it. So I think they buy it. That's a great question for Gino.
I'm wondering if it comes from the dump, because you can drop off your paint out there and then they mix it all together and then you can get bulk paint. from
Yeah,
it.
my point with that is that they don't always make enough of the exact color.
Not to do
And then you don't have that color again, ever.
Right.
Do.
Never make that recipe.
Maybe that's the color that happens when you recycle.
Anti-tagging.
It's various shades of gray and brown. I actually used to read that.
I just don't like to paint on dark brown. It's not as visible.
That's another big question that we'll include in the minutes if you don't get addressed.
Was the poo brown color established?
The dark brown is much better than a brown that I had, a different brown that is more of what you described.
Like Flag Heights baseball team just got a new scoreboard and they added some color and graphic to it, just like these scoreboards. It's gorgeous. Wonder if we couldn't capitalize on that somehow.
Great. I don't know. Are we done with the parks maintenance? If so, we can move on to our item B. is the recreation center updates.
Right, for the rec center updates, I don't have any slides or pictures or anything. I'm just gonna kill you or talk at you, however you look in there, but, so what we've been having is some facility upgrades. For each facility, we've had the Verkada camera systems installed. Those projects have been completed. We're getting like the last two of our supervisors who didn't have access to the Verkada system previously. They got their training today. And so they can see how to look on the back end, look up footage, do clips, all that good stuff. If anybody requests a particular video camera angle or clip, they'll be able to do that. So they were, I don't know what the total number is, but each center has at least 12 cameras. And I think Hal Jensen may have the most at like 18. I think this facility has 16. Jay Lively has 12. And then Josie Montoya Senior Center, I believe, has 12 also. So pretty substantial investment, and it's going to help us out obviously with security. But then with these cameras, we'll also be able to pull data from them as far as people, number of people that enter the facilities through particular doors in particular areas. And so looking forward to just really diving into it. We also have been trying to make sure that we're all full and whole as a staff. The latest full-time positions we filled here recently, we filled one at Jay Lively, our recreation coordinator one. We have one here at the front desk that we filled, and that's a rec cord two. And then we had a rec cord two in the aquaplex that we also filled. And so we're currently looking for some more lifeguards here at the aquaplex, but we did have a big hiring where we hired 9, where we put an offer out to 9 front desk staff. And then we also had some lifeguards that we hired, and we had training for them. Josh, he did his lifeguard training, the first one, and he certified 6 lifeguards. And so looking forward to pushing that forward. We also had like some officials that we hired at Hal Jensen Recreation Center, as well as some rec assistants at Josie, and then some rink guards. We actually have a position open there. We'll be looking to get a recreation coordinator 1 position opened up. We just had our recreation coordinator 1 resign from Josie Montoya Community Center. And so Mark Yarnell, he was with the city for some years and did some good work for us, got some great programming going. And so we'll be looking to get that recruitment open here pretty soon and get it out and get the next one in and hopefully continue some great things over there. We also have coming up our annual maintenance closures for our big facilities, which will be this facility and Jay Lively. They're coming up. Both closures begin May 4th. And here at the Aquaplex, it'll go through the 13th. At Jay Lively, it'll go through the 17th. And with those maintenance closures, this is the time when we do any big projects to the facility. In the past at Jay Lively, that's when we've done flooring. Here we drain the pool each year. We do the deep cleans, we'll paint, we'll do any type of mechanicals that's big. We'll look to do it. The chillers at Jay Lively, this would be a time where we would like to be able to do like install the new chillers and stuff. They're not going through this fiscal year, but we'll see if when everything is through and approved, if we need to wait to this time next year, if we can get some temporary chillers and still be able to do it without interrupting any programming. But staff is just gearing up for that and getting ready. It's typically all hands on deck event. You want to just make sure we deep clean and that there's a noticeable difference when you walk into either facility, and staff does a pretty good job at that each year. We're also, let's see, I know that there's a lot of updates that you guys have had in the newsletters, such as like the Youth Basketball League updates, the membership drives, and so I don't want to necessarily beat on them unless you guys want to. Um, I know it was in the report, but a cool one that we had here as far as like the pickup game that we had here, we had a session where they were doing pickup basketball and then incorporating the tournament at the end, and it was successful. It went off without a hitch. It had 6 teams that participated in the tournament, and there were about 20 participants full time throughout the course of the 5 weeks that they were playing, and now they moved on to futsal, and then we'll do volleyball. And so it's just another program idea to put out to the community to see what type of participation we can get for people that walk in and members right here in this facility. The EV at the rink, the EV Zamboni has been fully functional, and they've been just figuring out all the tweaks and data points and leveling points and everything in that. And been running that. It's been good for them in terms of operational. And so just looking to continue to figure the machine out and be able to maintain the ice as best as we can. Joe C has a lot of programs going on. This is like tax season, so AARP. I know they mentioned Patagorsky. They got a lot of new people trying to come in with like different dance clubs, like international dance, folk dance. And so they remain consistently busy. Spring break activities just happened for the Aquaplex. We had spring break day camp, and the goal was to get 20 people. We had 18 people in. We had a split of 9 members and 9 non-members that participated in spring break camp. They had spring break activities over at Hal Jensen Recreation Center, field trips every day. All the field trips were maximized, and even for the short ones, they were doing just multiple trips to pick up kids and take them to the venues, like whether it was ice rink, bowling, the mini golf. And so it had a lot of success and a lot of happy campers, if you will, or a lot of happy kids over the spring break week. Some things coming up for Hal Jensen. There's a teen summit that's coming up here at the end of the month. It's a new program that Crystal's been working on, and she's collaborated with a lot of different organizations here in town. And so we'll be looking forward to that. And then we also have the Daddy-Daughter Ball that'll be coming up next month. And so those are just some of the highlights that's coming up and some of the things that are happening in rec.
Looks like the Hal Jensen, the spring break thing looked kind of interesting to me. He had all those activities, dodgeball and wiffle ball and all that. So that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, and it was fun in the sense that it was kids within the area, but then kids from outside the area, families from outside the area came and participated in a lot of the activities, the field trips, the wiffle ball, dodgeballs, the arts and crafts. And so it was good to see some new faces over there.
In regards to the maintenance at Jay Lively, is that ice maintenance as well, or is that just kind of a cleaning of the facility?
So during this time, when we do need to do ice maintenance, we'll do it at this time. Like a few years ago, that's when we took the ice out completely and then rebuilt everything back up, and it happens during the closure.
I thought that was just last year. Was that 3 years ago?
It was 2 years ago. Next year will be the 3rd year, because as before that time, we had done it in maybe a decade. And so as we did it, we found some of those issues and problems, and then we got a schedule that the ice should be pulled out. And so we're looking to do that every 3 years. So next year mark the 3rd year, and we'll be looking to pull it out and go down to the ground again and then build it back up.
You talk about the game, the esports.
Esports, I can. Esports is like right there. It's the computers have been installed, updated. The VR tech is there. The gaming consoles, everything's there. Kids have been playing gaming consoles, and as far as the little arcade game, we were having issues for a little while in terms of the internet access as we were going back and forth with T-School. We finally got that resolved. IT has been just working really to make sure that the credentials, when you log in, we have admin side, obviously, and the user side. And on the user side, that they can't put anything or download anything malicious for the computer, any ill content. And so the way some of it's going to work is, admin will be able to log people on. There'll be a certain like esports or e-games that they can access. And then they'll have their own account. They'll be able to log in, and then they'll be able to play it. The VR sets, IT took them to make sure that, again, that no ill content can be put on those. And so we are like probably days away from really being able to open everything up and just really enjoy the space. The kids have been super excited because they finally got a chance to look in, see the room, see the actual gaming systems and the types that they are. And apparently we did well according to them. They've been real hype and excited. And so I should have put that on. Crystal sent me a little clip of her daughter Faith trying it on and doing some of the VR, and just as IT was over, giving them a training on kind of how to operate and everything. And it's cool, it's fun, and it's going to be something different for the center, something that we haven't provided, and something that should again bring a different clientele to the center that other than what people think. People just like to bounce balls at the rec center. So it should draw a different clientele. And again, we try and get an outreach to the entire community and not just necessarily Sunnyside only, but it's looking like it's going to be a great asset. And so any day. So hopefully when we have our meeting next month, we'll be able to have pictures and we'll be able to have a full update for you.
You can do it over
Yeah, do a field trip.
We certainly can. And we're going to have a all staff meeting over there tomorrow. And what they don't know is part of that is going to be them getting on the machines and just really checking it out and trying to
Yeah,
see, huh?
I can't be there tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be fun tomorrow.
Heads up, Tyrone, I'm telling you now, I talked with Crystal about this last week. I was talking with her about something else and this came up and I asked her to maybe put together like a ribbon cutting. Cause this has been a long time.
It has been.
It's worth celebrating and really getting our story out there, inviting the commission, inviting council members. Have you say a few inspiring words. This was kind of your brainchild, so.
Yeah, no, we talked originally about having some type of grand opening, so a ribbon cutting, I think that would be cool. So I'll get with her this week and just again touch base and see where everything is, because IT was supposed to be over there Friday, getting some of the last stuff going. And so yeah, we'll get a day, we'll get it in.
How many councils or how many kids can you accommodate at one time?
So we have 6 gaming consoles. And so 6 people can be on the computer. Then right outside, we have the Nintendo Switch set to a TV. Then we have PlayStation 5 set to a TV. We have the arcade little area. It just has a flat top table where 2 people can play at once. And then we have 6 of the VR sets.
That's all at Hal Jensen, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree, field trip.
We can do it.
And you brought up staffing. It seems like there's a lot of staffing positions open and available. Have you just got a turnover, people leaving, or just attrition, or what? What does that do to?
What we have mostly is for our temp staff. Our full-time staff, other than Mark just resigned, he is moving on, and it was just, life and whatnot. That's the only permanent position that we have, and we'll look to get that filled. But the temporary positions are what we're looking to, especially as we come into summer. this is the time where we really try and beef up the staff and make sure, especially here, that we have enough lifeguards to where when we get the summer rushes, we're not telling people that we're at capacity and we only have 25 people in the pool, and that's the capacity that we have because of our lifeguard ratio. And people looking in there and people are all upset, like, how are you at capacity and there's only 20 people in here? And then trying to explain, well, we only have 2 lifeguards right now, and et cetera, et cetera. So we want to make sure that we get up to full staff so that we can have full capacity during the summertime here in the pool. And then operationally at other facilities, when we're doing field trips and everything, we have appropriate staff coverage at the center. We have appropriate ratios when we go on trips. And so this is the time where we're really trying to push, and it's more for our part-time staff.
I see. Okay, thank you.
We do have some vacancies that have been filled with promotional opportunities.
Yes. Yeah, so.
It's been kind of nice to see some promotion from within.
Yeah, so our recreation coordinator 2 here in the aquatics area was a promotion from within. Our head lifeguard was able to move up and get that position. And then over at the ice rink, we had a longstanding temp employee or part-time employee that interviewed for the position, was able to get that and in essence be promoted into a full-time position as a rec coordinator 1.
And you mentioned the cameras installed. Were there no cameras before, or is this additions to or upgrade to an existing systems, or how?
So kind of a combination of all the above. We had different system here, and we had 4 operational cameras that were on Ricotta. The other ones were an old system with Honeywell, and so some of them got replaced like for like in the same location. And then we had CTS come out and they did a full scope and seeing where exactly where we need cameras at. And so then there were some additions. At Josie, they only had some interior cameras, and so we got exterior cameras put out over at Josie. And then Hal Jensen and Jay Lively, they were on a totally different system, and it was the Hike Vision, I think you said, or Hik Vision as Hike Vision. And that system itself was one that was flagged by our IT, and it was compromised in the sense that
It was a cybersecurity risk.
yeah.
It had not been.
Yeah.
Not exact, yeah. It was a risk. And so we actually had to separate it from the city system. So therefore it was not available unless you were on site. And I think some cameras became not available at all. So getting them all up to speed with, and this is kind of the camera system that for security purposes, the city is going towards in our facilities so that they can be word I'm trying to think of all the same. Universal. Thank you.
Are there cameras in parks, or are there plans to put cameras in parks? Or especially ones maybe like Bushmaster where you get some undesirable activities as a way?
We had talked about it with police. We have also considered it just for a matter of being able to collect data, like how many users are on the pickleball court at different times of day so that we can manage our programming and permitting, things like that, but also security. Given the recent council conversations with the police department on cameras in public areas, we're no longer having those conversations.
What was the concern? Privacy?
Flock.
Oh,
You know,
well, I know, yeah.
I guarantee you say camera, the wrong person at council.
So these are,
Everybody.
just to be clear, the cameras at the rec centers that Tyrone is talking about are for security purposes only. And the only reason we typically go look at the footage is if something happened and we need footage, we need to go see what happened. Or if we had a break-in PD, or we had something happen in a parking lot parking lot, and PD wants to see if we have footage so that they can identify a suspect.
Or probably brought it up for the parks for the same purpose.
These things are expensive. Like, I think we're really lucky that recreation centers were able to this year with Public Works leading the project and funding it.
Is that why it ended? Is because of the flock? I mean, I keep reading about the flock conversations.
We just knew that we just focused on our security camera system once that conversation started.
Okay. Anybody else got anything they want to add as far as recreation center updates? Oh, you good? Okay. Thanks, Tyrone. Appreciate the updates. Our last discussion item today, I should see if Councilmember Garcia has anything he'd like to add at this point too. Councilmember?
No, we don't really have anything to share at this point. Maybe after the retreat, we can talk a little bit more about the budget. But besides that, everything's kind of coming together with staff, and that's about. We haven't really gotten an update on that yet. So maybe at the next meeting. Thanks, guys.
More discussion.
Yeah, we had, no, I was just asking, see if Councilmember had anything he'd want to add as far as the recreation center updates, but we'll move on to our last agenda item, which is events and athletics updates.
That's me. I don't have a presentation to share, but I will share a map in a minute. So for athletics, before, but as a reminder, we've had a change to the allocation process. So we've broken that out into 3 seasons: spring, summer, fall. That's for our local user groups, both youth and adult, as well as the schools. With the exception of FESD, who's on an IGA, the rest of our charter schools are not. So we actually issued those allocations preliminary today for April and May to all of our user groups. And then we will send out requests for summer the first week of April, and that summer season will be June, July, and possibly a chunk of August. That allows us to legitimately give people the space that they need, as well as identify the true request. It was much easier for our team, although there were definitely some logistical hiccups with looking at 2 months instead of the year, to be able to properly identify who needs what for the spring instead of the April until the end of October or end of November, actually. And then we had an influx of people groups that didn't have the ability to get space through us, so they're working with others. So it's essentially eliminated the need for you to then exit a user group and then still need to communicate with them to borrow their space. So hopefully that becomes successful. We haven't gotten any negative feedback today, but I just sent them out. Otherwise in athletics, we have first session softball registrations open. That starts at the end of April. And then we'll be opening up recruitment for recreation officials, scorekeepers. We're just gonna open the remainder of our vacancies. Because we have them, they exist, so we might as well recruit. And then we do have some staff that have expressed they're gonna be aging out of officiating softball games and volleyball and basketball in the next probably 2 years, which is okay. Otherwise, that's it for athletics. Events, we have our call for musicians out for concerts in the park that will run every Wednesday, June and July. We don't have the park locations identified yet. We typically pick those once we select the bands to see who's gonna fit where.
What is the deadline for receiving?
Friday is when we close call for musicians. We currently have about 31 submissions, which is on track for what we had last year. We have people that are returning and then people that are. We did also just reach out to County Parks and Rec to see if they'd like to continue to partner this year, just based on their capacity. That has been a really nice partnership over the past several years with them. And then I think our big one is the 4th of July drone show. We brought that contract forward to council in January, and that was approved in the amount of $122,500 for 400 drones, and the show is 2025, which is similar to last year. Let me share my screen for the map, because that's going to be the biggest logistical change with that is location. 1 second, I can.
Is that a bigger budget than you guys had last year?
So it's within the same budget. It is a larger dollar amount, but it is a larger drone show. So last year we did 350 drones at 90-ish thousand. I don't want to be quoted on that exact dollar amount. And we put an RFP out for a variety of drone mounts and duration of show, and that's what we decided to select. It gives you the ability to do some additional 3D imagery, which is something that was part of the feedback that we received internally from staff, is that that's something we want to continue to do. And it is the 250th year, so we anticipate a larger scale show. So with that, the other largest piece of feedback was we'd like to be able to watch it from one location. So we've identified Fox Glen as the location, which is going to be what's on the screen. The drones are going to launch from, you can see my cursor, this back ball field, with their full flight zone being over both of these baseball fields. So these won't be activated for the public. They'll be locked down. And then we'll do all of our activation on these back soccer fields. We're looking at doing a stage with some music in this corner, some bouncy houses and things over here, and then some food trucks likely along this back edge to keep this as much of a viewing area as possible. So it gives, can I finish before you ask? Okay. It gives the community and the visitorship something to do ahead of the show instead of just that mass entrance at 8:30 and then the mass exodus. To combat some of the traffic issues, we'll be closing this section of Butler down to the light, and that'll be managed by PD with mountain line buses that are shuttling people in, as well as residents heading into this neighborhood right here. There won't be any parking available at the park. We'll be partnering with FUSD, and that conversation is, I believe, actually this week on the utilization of Sanawa. The elementary school will be utilized for staff and PD parking and staging, because they'll need to activate for emergency response or be prepared to activate for emergency response. And then we are in having the conversation of renting NAU parking lots as well as the mall for shuttle service. I think that covered that all.
Where are you parking, everybody?
So Sonawa will be ticketed parking, and then the rest of that advertised parking is going to be NAU parking lots and the mall with mountain line running shuttle for us.
Ticketed, how much?
We haven't had that conversation yet, if it'll be a free ticketed service or some of this will need to be identified as ADA parking. So that obviously would not be charged, but
We talked about price points, just guesses, no?
What do you anticipate the capacity to be within the viewing area there?
these back ball fields can hold 50,000 people.
Wow.
I don't.
That can hold 50,000 people?
Yeah, if you look at the square footage of the park, which is, that's my specialty, is event calculation capacity. It can hold 50,000. I would anticipate we'll have 15 to 20,000.
What fits over on the, just for reference, what fits over on the Little League fields, like when we've got hullabaloo and that sort of thing?
Need a contact.
Softball complex.
Sorry, over on the east side, like where Hullabaloo was and.
Right.
Right.
Thank you.
Similar capacity, it's similar square footage, slightly different because those are fenced ball fields, so it has a lower capacity than open air.
So I just want to be clear, Pride has been at the Thorpe softball complex for years and Hullabaloo has been at Wheeler Park.
Thank you. They used to be over there and they've been Wheeler for many years.
Yeah, Blues and Brews Festival may be one that you're thinking of that used to be at the Continental Driving Range. That's a private festival. I'm not sure what their attendance was. We used to hold, when we did fireworks in July, we would hold that at Continental. I'm sure we all remember that. That was a partnership with them, because obviously that's private property. And, they told us several years ago they were no longer interested in that partnership. So Fox Glen became the next best bet.
What do you anticipate the radius is gonna be for viewership? Like how, I mean, the houses around it and where can you see it from in town?
So it'll be, that's one of the changes is we're not doing that 3D or not 360 viewing radius. It will be, if you're sitting here, you'll be able to see it. I'm sure if you're in some of these back houses, you'll be able to, because it's still got that mile range. But if you're in north of Butler, it would just be the transposed image essentially, which we're not advertising. You can view it from anywhere. We're going to advertise it as you need to come to the park for the best viewing experience.
You anticipate you'll be able to see it from here, from the Aquaplex?
Sure, with the elevate, like some of the hills. Awesome.
We're not trying to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whereas when we did it last year, they tried to go up as high as they could and they went higher to optimize that viewing. I think this year the difference is we have a viewing area, a specific viewing area, and that will be the optimized show.
Neighborhoods will be able to, the surrounding neighborhoods should be able to see it pretty clearly.
If you don't mind reading backwards. But I mean, it's probably gonna be a lot of images, so it doesn't matter. It's just the words that'll be backwards.
Is it the same company you contracted with last year for the drones?
It is, they were successful with another solicitation.
Will there be any management of the foot system coming into there?
We haven't talked about it.
Just thinking about ways that I would want to arrive there, and it would probably be by way of the foots to the back there.
I think so. And we did have the brief conversation about having like a bike check and having that managed. I know Earth Day is pretty successful with that. So that we can still encourage non.
I think we're just waiting out of it, be encouraged, yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
That's it for events.
Good choice, I think.
Thank you.
Are you doing anything, any events? I know it's not necessarily a city thing or a parks thing potentially, but in regards to the Route 66 Centennial, it's coming up this summer as well.
Pros is that the city Economic Vitality has contracted with an event organizer to do a street fair on June 6th, I believe.
Where?
On Aspen in front of Heritage Square between San Francisco. So we've given some thoughts and opinions, and then we manage that permit from start to finish.
I know we're doing that refurbishment out at the Route 66 out by the mall, a section of Route 66 that's preserved. I didn't know there was any coordination as to an event out there or not. Well, that's why I asked.
Necessarily an event, Parks is working with them on those beautification projects. They're funding them and they'll hire a contractor. Because Parks is obviously otherwise occupied with maintenance right now, but so yeah, Economic Vitality is doing, and Discover Flagstaff is just doing a ton of advertising to try to get people here to celebrate. the 100th. So they put up signs along Route 66. You've probably seen those. They're the refurbishment of that Route 66 park on the Fitz Trail, near Country Club, the event. They're doing a lot of things, and the event sounds pretty fun. Actually, it's gonna, I believe, still a car show, right?
Car show.
Classic car show, like 3D street art, chalk art in the street. A lot of things. It's gonna be pretty fun.
Sounds fun. Great.
And it's all going to be on Aspen in front of Heritage Square,
And in Heritage Square.
in the Heritage Square.
Yeah, there's some expansion to the visitor center, and then I believe they're utilizing some private property as well. To get people to spread out.
Will the restrooms be finished by then?
That's not a me question.
I don't know, and by
Restroom is a 4-letter word around here.
in the off chance that they're actually under construction, which could be the case, we'll have portables somewhere. Just to have on a daily basis, and then the event need to increase those as well.
I figured as much. I just thought
Not Wheeler.
since Josh is here, I thought I'd throw it out there.
I'm sorry, say it.
The Route 66 event is concurrent with Hullabaloo. It's the same days.
Concrete.
Gonna be crazy down there.
The same people that run Hullabaloo, different people.
Let's hope so.
Be a crazy day.
Commissioner Lamberson, you got anything else you wanna add or question? All right, thought I'd ask. Commissioner Frazier, you good? Good. Good. Are we done with that then? And
I'm done.
thanks. That's a good presentation. I appreciate both Tyrone today. Reports and updates. Council member Garcia kind of gave us an update, but is there anything more you wanted to add at this point, as far as what
No,
the
not
trail?
tonight.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Sorry for jumping around a little bit there. Didn't mean to do that. The pros monthly newsletter, kind of Tyrone covered some of what was in there. There's a bit more, so hopefully you get a chance to review that. I always find that of interest. So I'm looking forward to next month's with some of the numbers and other things that are going on too.
How does that newsletter get distributed?
It's in the overall packet that you,
And not to us, but to the
oh,
community. People see that.
So we posted on the city website, our marketing puts it onto Instagram, and then I believe it's sent out to council leaders.
I send it to all pros staff. And I copy the city's leadership team, and then I believe the city manager includes it in her routine updates to council. She sends them a weekly email, and I think as this is updated, she attaches it. So council gets it that way.
it'd be interesting to see, the numbers for the trail counter, especially given the mild winter we've had, if how those compare to the last winters. Now,
I'm sure we can get that if you'd like. I'm sharing it, trying to.
I know we get generally on an annual basis, you kind of give like the previous year versus the current year and all that, so.
Yeah, we didn't do, sometimes in December or January, we'll do like a year in review. We didn't do that this year. But that could be a good little piece for next month is how the trail numbers compared. I think they're actually probably pretty similar. I don't think there's gonna be any surprises. Buffalo Trail is still extremely popular.
Time I've gone up there, it's just crazy busy.
It's packed, yeah.
No other comments on the monthly newsletter. We can go to information items to and from commissioners and or staff.
Trying to think. So for those of you that might have missed the February meeting, we did, the two commissions did approve the BBB budget. Staff has presented our proposed budget to the city manager's budget, group. And, so we're just continuing to move through that process. And then as Councilmember Garcia mentioned, that'll be presented to them in April. So I think around that time is when we'll be able to, probably in May, is when we'll be able to share more information on the budget. But it was helpful to be able to say in our presentation that both commissions approved.
For those commissioners who did miss the meeting, I encourage you to review the meeting minutes, because we did do our 5-year plan review, no updates, but just kind of gives you where we stand with all those different items. So that was helpful too.
See all of our meetings on YouTube.
Yeah.
Missed.
Perpetuity, you just store them forever?
As far as I know, yeah.
It goes back a ways, you know. I don't have anything really to add. We want to talk about agenda items for our next meeting, and I think that is in April.
I'll see you next week.
Whether or not we want to try to do a field trip in 1 month of the summer.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to try to have a commission meeting at Hal Jensen.
Talked about that before, trying to visit some of these recreation centers. I think it's still a good idea.
So can you check on April 20th at 4:00 around and see? Lori, can you remind us of that in the minutes so we can do some advertising about the change of location?
Especially to, members.
Yeah.
Showing up,
We need to make sure we update your calendar appointments.
us that don't pay attention.
That need management.
Lots of it.
Are we overdue for voting on chair and co-chair? Don't we generally do that?
I was going to ask Amy about that. I think we usually do it in January. You all didn't have a January meeting, and then February was the joint meeting.
Yeah.
So this
Where it is.
would have been a good one.
Right, but my only concern is that Commissioner Kerr, Commissioner Stackhouse, and our terms are all up. I'm not sure if you can renew. I know I can't. I'm termed out in August. Yeah.
So, I had that on my mind to ask Amy when we want to do that. We can review all commissioner terms and, that's probably a good agenda item in April, is to review commissioner terms and select a new chair and co-chair.
Yeah, because I'd like someone to continue on since I'm out August. You want that continued to the next year, so. Be good.
Any other agenda items other than the tour of Hal Jensen?
Just trying to think if there's any other updates that we would want to have at this
If
point.
there are, we'll add, like if we have any project updates, we'll add that to the agenda.
I can't think of anything at this particular moment, so any other commissioners have any ideas? If I think of something, I'll email you.
Perfect. Sounds good.
Great. All right, well, if nothing more, I guess we can adjourn a bit early today. Yeah, do I have to take, I noticed in the last, meeting that open space always asks for a.
No, you don't need a motion to adjourn. You can just adjourn.
All right, with that, if there's nothing else, we'll move the meeting to adjournment. Thank you. Appreciate it, everybody.
Thank you all.